Hey family, it's your brother Pat. Um, First time doing this social media YouTube thing. Just want to say shalom to all the awakened Hebrews out there and the ones who, researching. They've heard about, you know, who the true Hebrews are, and they're reaching out, searching, trying to find, information on the truth. Um, just a little bit about myself, my testimony. Uh, I came to the Messiah at the age of 19. Didn't really grow up in church. Had a good upbringing, which is my stepdad was a civil rights leader in a town where we lived, from a little town called Blakely, Georgia. Um, the he believed in God and what we would call Jesus at the time. He believed, but he just didn't believe in the whole religious system, the church thing. He felt like they basically sat behind the four walls and didn't really help the people. So, um, he taught us about God, but he just went into the whole church thing. Um, when I left the house and entered college, um, going to play football, um, the Most High started dealing with me, and calling me to surrender my life to Him. And of course, I didn't know what that looked like at first, but I just started trying to live for Him the best way I could. And when He called me, as He was calling me, He was letting me know what He wanted me to do. And I was like, me? Why? I got these flaws and, trying to make all these excuses. So I was okay with giving my life to Him for the sake of salvation, but doing what He told me to do, I wasn't really down with that. So I ran from it for years, for years and years and years. But anyway, um, gave my life to Him, to the Messiah, January 3rd, 1999. Of course, like I said, I was running from the calling. I was a young kid, 19, trying to learn my way, trying to learn who the Messiah was, learn the ways of God. God, what we say, Elohim, and some say Elimo, but uh, trying to learn, his ways and who he was, while he was calling me. But, got to it just um, around 2008, living here and actually living in Charleston, South Carolina. And the most I had already suffered some things because I wouldn't obey his calling, you know. And he was just dealing with me, troubling me. And then finally, the ministry where I was going to church, you know, finally in the pastor talk and stepped up trying to do what he called me to do. And it was tough. It was tough. But he proved himself to me repeatedly. Proved himself to me repeatedly. I'm just giving like the little short synopsis, I guess you could say. But anyway, left the church. He told me to leave the church around 2011. I didn't really know what I was gonna do after that, so left the church. And then how sometimes when you're in church, people make it seem like if you leave church, that you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it without them. It just it's the way it is sometimes with church. But anyway, so I would be going through and wondering what praying and fasting, wondering what he wanted me to do. And you know, when I would grow faint sometimes, I would visit a church here and there because I'm like, well, maybe I'm missing God, and I would go to church or whatever. But It was just like every church I visited was like nothing there. Like he wasn't there. His presence wasn't there. It seemed like they were just operating on their own, like the giftings, the gifts. Um, Anybody could teach, anybody could get up and talk in front of the people, but the presence wasn't there. Um, so, after seeking his face and going through and struggling, one day I remember I'm a personal trainer. I was training one of my clients who was standing under the tree. And me, I was feeling like, you know, the Most High wasn't with me, like He had forsaken me even. And I was training my client. I walked off and I said, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I said, are you still with me? And I walked off, picked up my water bottle, and I was drinking. And I felt something moving under my foot. So I looked down, like I didn't pick up my foot. I just looked down, like, what is that? And so I went back to drinking my water, and it did it again. He was moving, something moving under my foot. So I picked up my foot, and snake, snake took off, and I'm just it was going to my client. I'm sitting there like mouthful of water, trying to tell her to get out the way, and she she took off running. But anyway, long story short, I from that, you know, from what I had just prayed, I knew that the Most High had, and He answered me, and that He was still with me, you know, because we know the Scripture says, He told Eve that her seed will bruise the head of the serpent, He will bruise your heel, and He was under my foot. Um, the Most High was letting me know I'm still with you, still with you. So anyway, some more time passed by, um, and I had heard that from well, during in between that time and where I'm at now, just studying, reading books like the Book of Enoch. Um, Started seeing things like you know Noah being an albino. His father ran from him and said he had a white body and he didn't look like the rest of the children of men. And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? And now for some reason, just automatically, my mind went to, hey, the Messiah is black. I don't even know why just went there. Messiah is black. Um, and from that day on, I was just like, I just knew he was black. And then I would see reading in scripture, woolly hair, burnt bronze feet. Reading in Daniel, legs and arms of burnt bronze, woolly hair. And, you know, from my uh, background and past, growing up, my stepfather, who was a civil rights leader in our little town, I already knew about racism. And, when I would talk to my clients would tell you I've been preaching to them since they know me. But so I didn't really need a building to be preaching. But anyway, most of my clients are, white people. And, most of them claim to be Christian. But I noticed when we would talk about issues like, these police shootings and these injustices we were seeing during, time of President Obama, um, all these shootings of unarmed black men. When I would talk to them, I noticed, they would always take the side of the police officers. I always take the side of the system. So I started calling them out on it. Like, hey, how come you say you were a believer? Because I wasn't in church, but I still was going under the name of Christian. I was like, are you claiming to be a Christian, a believer, and you're not standing for what's right. You just looking at you, or you only standing against the black man. And they were like, oh no, they start backtracking. Oh no, 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 it's not that, it's not that. But I noticed, repeatedly, all of them, that's what it was. And so the whole, I ain't never been a fool. I already knew that, it was the race thing was always there. But, the KKK sent letters to our house threatening my stepdad and the family. But that's a whole nother story. But anyway, um, so one night, uh, it's my friend. One night, one day I saw the Hebrew Israelites. Some of the camps they were on, a couple of the camps they were on the street. But the couple of videos I saw, I heard them say that we were the real Hebrews, but they weren't really going into like much information. They was more like fussing with um, other people on the street. A couple of videos that I saw, and when I saw it, I was like, hmm, I believe, that some of the Jews, the real Jews, are black, but I still was thinking it was those people over there in Israel. But when I would see it, when I see, I believe that, but us being the Jews, nah. So I just kind of like brushed it off. So one night, um, that's out of nowhere. One night, I'm a dreamer. I see a lot of things in dreams before they happen. And I've had a lot of supernatural experiences that people think I'm crazy about. Told them, but these things are real. But um, one night, I was asleep next to my wife, and in the dream, it was these guys on the street preaching or something, and so I walked into them, and I had my wallet in my hand, and walked into them, and I was trying to listen, but they were talking, but I couldn't hear what they were saying. Um, it's like I couldn't hear them, and for some reason, I dream shifts. So anyway, these guys surrounded me, and he jumped me, and I was like knocked out. And my um, in the dream, a black man came up to me, and he grabbed me by my shoulders, and he started shaking me, wake up, wake up, wake up, and I started, shaking like somebody had me by the shoulder shaking me. And my wife saw it, and she said she thought I was convulsing because I was literally sitting at like a 45-degree angle in the bed, moving like somebody was shaking my arm, like shaking me. And I woke up like, hmm, convulsing, man, I ain't got no demon. Just in my mind. But I woke up saying like, what was that? Most High, what was that? What God? I was saying God. What was that? Like, wake up from what? Wake up to what? And partially in my mind, I already knew what he was saying. So I um just kind of wondered, praying like, in my mind kind of knew. He was saying, hey, wake up, you're the people. But I didn't have any real, I didn't go into, looking into it or anything. So, and a while back before that, uh, I was praying, and I was just thanking the Most High for, because I had done answered the call by now. I had been working in ministry, you know, but at the time I left church, but I was still thanking him for how he was using me in ways that I didn't think were possible. And just thanking him for being grateful for the place he had given me in the ministry. And so, and so, um, what I was thanking him for the place he had given me, in, with him, yeah, with him, and I was just like, why? I was asking him, why? Why did you do this? Why are you using me like this? Why me? And he spoke to me clearly, say, because your ancestor prayed for you. So I'm thinking, okay, let me talk to my grandma, you know, and see can she tell me, give me her. I knew her mom's name, her dad's name, or maybe her grandma's name. So I was gonna try to trace back through like some type of ancestry thing online and to see who this man was that prayed for me. This great preacher, I was thinking that prayed for me, and I was sometimes I can be a procrastinator. So procrastinate for years. So finally, I asked her. She gave me the names. So after that, still procrastinated. Came back on YouTube, and I was gonna find out like how can an African American trace back their history, and of course, because we had lost all of it, and I kept running into these Deuteronomy 28 curses videos, you know, and then I was just like, oh my goodness, this is what he was telling me to wake up to. I had been asleep, had been slumbering, like most of us. But from that day on, it was 2017. So I've been awake since then, uh, learning the truth, learning the history that I didn't know. I didn't throw out everything I learned while I was in Christianity, you know, nor my relationship. Because if I didn't have a relationship with him, I would have never came to this place anyway. So, like a lot of us, we have relationship with the Messiah before we became into the truth. And um, so yeah, I've been sitting there, absorbing and learning for the last, almost 3 years, and most I've just dealing with me about, just stepping up, doing what he called me to do. And so this is like the first little introductory video. I'm not a great speaker, but I'm gonna get on here and try to um, teach as much as I can to maybe new people and give the revelations of the things the Most High has given me to even seasoned Hebrews. But most of us are still most of us probably like have only waking up like the last 5-10 years probably. So we are still learning, um, all still growing. So nobody knows it all. Even the ones who've been in this the longest, they don't know it all because there's so much was lost and a lot of information we're getting is still from European sources. So we really got to depend on the spirit. You know, this whole coronavirus thing has happened so that we all can take time to ourselves and look, you know, introspectively inside of ourselves to, to purify ourselves so that we may be pleasing to the Most High and find out, those things that are inside of us that need to be moved, need to be taken out so we can be used in this final hour. Because guess what? I've been saying this for years to people that know me. The world as we know it is about to change. Life as we know it is about to change. You can forget about going back to even if they lift this for a little while, we know, you know, scripture said, after 400 years, after our 400 years of captivity, that the Most High would judge that nation that did us to it. So we don't know how long this judgment going to take, but the Most High going to let it be known why he's doing it. This ain't going to just be stuff that's just happening and nobody knows why it's happening. They see these messages on YouTube, but both sides going to show his power. He's going to send people to the government officials, like Pharaoh, like Moses with Pharaoh, and let them know this is why I'm doing this. Let my people go. So you might as well, as a people, it's hard. It's a hard saying, but you got to start detaching yourself from this place. This ain't your home. This ain't our home. We going back to that promised land. We going back. We ain't got many years left, so start detaching yourself, start thinking, you know, about the kingdom that He has for us. You know, you look all around, you can see it. So get your mind right. Um, I try to be, post a video maybe like once a week, do a little teaching. I might even do like post um, some classes or something, the teachers, that I might do since we can't meet right now, and might do it on like Zoom meetings with some family, some friends, and then post it on here. And hopefully, I can say something to help our people. Um, the Most High is raising up, great ministries already, um, and He's gonna raise up new prophetic voices in this end, you know, that can warn us of things that are coming. Not just information. The information is good. It's awesome. I'm glad I got a chance to sit for about 3 years and learn a lot. But the spiritual gifts about to come forward like never before. Church, you think you saw spiritual gifts, but you ain't seen that yet. You know, we're a different breed. We're different people, and we've been living below what we're supposed to be living. It's gonna manifest by His Spirit. What He really wants for us to do, and what he really intended for us to be. The nation's gonna know. So, just want to say, Kimbo, Kimbo, or glory, glory to the Most High, and Shalom, family.